Welcome to lesson 19, problem number 2, where we are factoring trinomials completely, meaning it's kind of a little hint that there's probably more than one step. So we're going to always be looking, as we know to do with factoring, for greatest common factor first. Then we're going to see if we can factor again. So let's get started. 2a, the greatest common factor is x. So I'm going to take the x to the outside, and we're left with x minus 14x plus 24. Now, the part that I'm going to underline in green can be factored again because it's a trinomial and the leading coefficient, the number in front of the x squared, is just 1. And so we can simply try to see what two numbers add to negative 14, it's an AM, and multiply to 24. So I'm going to put a little AM up there to remind you the two numbers that we can come up with that add to negative 14, multiply to positive 24 are negative 12 and negative 2. So our final answer is x times x minus 12 times x minus 2. Just want to make sure you understand that if you were to multiply all of this out, you would get right back to that original x to the third minus 14x squared plus 24x. Okay, let's look at the next one. In this case, in B, the greatest common factor is 3. But before we get started, let's rewrite this in standard form so we don't get confused when we try to add to the middle number to the B and multiply to C. So we're going to take out that 3. So we have 3x squared minus 4x minus 32. Okay, the two numbers that we can come up with that add to negative 4 and multiply to negative 32 are negative 8 and positive 4. So our final answer is 3 times x minus 8 times x plus 4. Once again, just to remind you, it doesn't matter whether you put the x minus 8 first or the x plus 4 first. It's multiplication, so it can go in either order. Okay, the next one, let's take out our GCF. This time it's 5p. So we have 5p times p squared plus 2p minus 3. And once again, we're now adding to 2 and multiplying to negative 3. So the two numbers that work there are 3 and negative 1. So our final answer is 5p times p plus 3 times p minus 1. Okay, let's go to the next one. It's already in a nice standard form for us, so let's take the 7 to the outside. So it's 7 times x squared minus 6x plus 8. The two numbers that add to negative 6 and multiply to negative 8 are negative 4 and negative 2. So our final answer is 7 times x minus, let's do the x minus 4 first, doesn't matter though, and x minus 2. Great, we're done. Okay, now we have some light bulb problems. So, all right, these are a little challenging, but what I want you to see is that it's still really an ax squared plus bx plus c form, even though what is being squared this time is the quantity x minus 8. So what we have to keep in mind for this problem is that we could multiply it all the way out. We could expand it. That's the long way of doing it. What we really want to do here, I'm going to take all of this away to make some space for us, is we are going to try to add to negative 3 and multiply to 2. The two numbers that add to negative 3 and multiply to positive 2 are negative 1 and negative 2. So I'm going to put the negative 1 and the negative 2 in the parentheses. And then instead of putting an x in each position, I'm going to put x minus 8. And technically, I don't even need the parentheses around the x minus 8, but I'm doing it just to help you visualize this. So if you were to multiply this out, you would actually get the quantity x minus 8 squared, check. Then you'd get minus 2 of these and then minus 1 of these, which gives you negative 3 x minus 8, the quantity x minus 8, and then plus 2. So we have really shown that these two parentheses are the factored form of E. However, we can simplify a little bit more by rewriting it as x minus 8 minus 1 becomes x minus 9. And this is going to be x minus 8 minus 2, so it'll be x minus 10. So that's all we have to do. If you wanted to multiply it all out, I guarantee you, you'd get back to that original. All right, great job on that one, if you hung in there for it. Okay, the next one, there's no greatest common factor this time. and there wasn't an E either, but what we can do here is we're going to add to negative 13 multiply to 36. So those two numbers are going to be negative 9 and negative 4. But keep in mind that what we're going to do now is we're going to rewrite it instead of x minus 9 and x minus 4, we need an x squared minus 9 and an x squared minus 4. Because when you multiply it out, we'd get x to the fourth in that case. So everything would work if we make it like this. But the great news is we can factor again because we now have the difference of two squares. So our final answer is going to be these four parentheses. Let me circle some of our final answers. We circled A, but here's the answer for B. Here's the answer for C, the answer for D, the answer for E, and the answer for F. Great job hanging in there with all of these challenging problems. See you next time.